This is actually a BattleTech music playlist, and I found it when Hill and I were playing BattleTech board game, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, today we're gonna be painting a lot of these guys. These are turrets. I've already done a wash on the bases that they go in. So they're mostly done. I'm gonna have to do a wash on all of these turrets, and there's like, let me show you. Assuming there's no like DMCA stuff with the stream, it'll get uploaded to YouTube. So this is all of the, I can't even get them all in shot. These are all of the turrets I have to paint. Technically they're all painted. I just need to do washes and do some details, and then they're done. But they're for BattleTech. They're for a terrain system called Hextech, and this is a sample piece of Hextech I printed off from the free wall set, and this is like a turret tower. And I'm gonna experiment. Excuse me, words. I'm gonna experiment around on this to see what I want to do. Because in the games they're always very concrete, so I'm probably gonna do like a wash and some dry brushing on this to make it look a little cooler. But let me show you how these work, because it's actually really cool for the, so you've got your base and you've got all of these turrets. Here's like an LRM, like a small LRM, and it just slots in there. And this whole thing can go in like that. So then you've got like a completed like missile turret. And I've got like a whole wall system I'm printing for these. And the goal is to make like a Solaris 7 arena that you can kind of have battles in. Let me adjust this a little bit so I can, that might be better, because then I can kind of see what I'm showing you guys. Check Discord. Yeah, hang on a second. Thankfully, I'm operating like 2 things, so... Wait, what's in Discord? I don't see anything. Oh, yes. Why can't I hold all these turrets? Oh my god, that's great. I wish I knew. I wish, like, on mobile, you could share things like that. I think this might... So I painted all these in Vallejo dark aluminum, and I love this color. If you are into painting at all and you need good solid metallics, this is the brand to get. This is a different paint, but this is basically the brand in this series, the Vallejo Metal Color. They're designed to be shot out of an airbrush. And yeah, you can link it, Spork. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you shoot these out of an airbrush, or you can paint them on by hand. And they go on so smooth, and it's like the best metallics I've seen. So yeah, we're gonna paint a bunch of these. And the problem is, if I do washes, I don't really have a way to hold these other than in my hand. I thought maybe I could, because I've got all of these guys like stuck down to the stick. I could probably stick them in there and do a wash on them, but I don't know if that will work. My issue is, like, if I just hold them, the thing with washes, they can take a while to dry, and if you do something like that, it's gonna flop the wash everywhere. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some sticky tack on the bottom and stick it in one of those bases, and I'll just go down the line and I'll just do washes on them. Yeah, but I think, I don't know, do I want to work on turrets or do I want to work on the mech a little bit? This guy's almost done. He's got his wash, his base coat. I'm gonna do some highlighting on it, just to bring out some of these panel lines. And is it actually focusing? Might be. Might have to hold it down low. And I kind of want to hit some of these lasers with some color, just so we kind of get some definition there. And I'm kind of thinking maybe to do the cockpit in like a copper. Been getting into Gunpla lately and want to try painting, but kind of get overwhelmed and nope out every time I try to shop for paint. I can make some really good recommendations. I don't know if you really have to paint a lot on Gunpla. Is that true? Like, or do you need to is there a lot of painting in Gunpla? I've never done one myself. I probably should at some point just to do one. And I mean, I know it's cliche, but I absolutely loved Gundam Wing. But this is probably what you're going to want to invest in for Gunpla. It's actually designed for that. Or, I mean, if you do like military aviation models or whatever. But it's Panaline accent, and it's actually really, really cool. I use this on a lot of things. You can actually use it as like a wash as well. Yeah, Vallejo Mechs. Hey Connery, how you been? Yeah, my Vallejo Mecha color is great. I've got some of their varnish right here. I'm a big fan of Vallejo in general, but most of my paints are Army Painter. I've got a whole line of Army Painter air paints. I've got some of their newer speed paints. I've got their 2.0 stuff on order. Why did that look like a Star Citizen helmet? I guess it kind of does. I actually have, there's a Star Citizen little figure that came out years ago, like in 2014 or something, and a friend gave one to me, and I should paint it now that I can paint things semi-proficiently. Oh yeah, I can show you guys this. This is the first mech I've painted. It's a little Irby. Just a little guy. And he's done except for the basing. I'm getting some texture paints that you can use for basing. I do have a lot of basing material, so I could base this conventionally if I wanted to, but I want to try these texture paints. I've never really used them before. But yeah, this little guy, I wanted to make just kind of a generic garrison mech, and I thought, you know, there's no better place to start than an urban mech, and I thought green would be a fun color. The torso does not twist. This is actually a resin model. This is a resin model. The actual ones that you get from Catalyst do not have these antennas. These things will probably break off at some point because of the nature of resin. I do have some ABS-like resin that's supposed to be better for miniatures, so, you know, if you drop them, they don't shatter and things. But I have so much resin to use, I'm not to that stock yet. So yeah, these are resin. I do have some actual Catalyst models just to show you a difference. I don't think I have any models of things that are not already, like I don't have any urban mech models. But just to show you, actually I can kind of show you the difference here. Sort of. So here's a Catalyst catapult. And this came in the main box, the main BattleTech box. So a lot of really good detail. The torso does not twist on this one either, although it looks like it could. Now I do have some STLs. I do have some STLs that have separate parts, and I'm thinking about actually magnetizing those so you can twist the torso, which would be fun. Sorry, I need to catch up on chat. Need no, depending on the grade you want. Yeah, exactly. Entry no grade, probably high master grade, maybe real grade, not unless you want to change something very specifically about it. Yeah, exactly. At that size, you could probably place these antennas with actual wire. Yeah, you probably could. I'm not super worried about the antennas. If they get lost, if they get broken off, it's not a huge deal. The actual Catalyst urban mech have kind of like little nubs, and it looks fine. So just as a comparison, not quite the same mech, but here's a Timberwolf. So you can kind of see the difference between a resin printed and an actual from Catalyst. They both have their pros and cons, in my opinion. And I've actually just backed the Kickstarter for Mercenaries, so whenever they release all that stuff, yeah, if they break, it's just battle damage. I like that logic. Yeah, if they ever release it, we'll see. So you can actually might be able to tell. There's some little imperfections from where the supports were for 3D printing. Those probably won't be super obvious once it's painted, but I see it because I printed these, so I'm like, but see, there's also imperfections on the actual plastic model. There's not really a lot of mold lines with these that I've noticed, which actually makes the Catalyst models like so much better than, like, for example, D&D models. Yeah, I think it's gonna be 2024 before we get those with the Mercenaries, but I've backed for so many because I'm so excited for the vehicles. But you know, they both have their pros and cons. I'm inclined to use both because BattleTech is a miniature agnostic game, so you could technically use this as an atlas if you really wanted to, or you could go and print off your own atlas. This guy's primered, so it's going to be hard to see any kind of detail, but he's already got some missing antennas, and on the official minis, they do not have antennas at all. So, but the biggest problem with resin minis is that you have to support them yourself. So it can be really easy to not do a good enough job with your supports, and then it doesn't print. Just all kinds of stuff can happen. So in general, it's like there's pros and cons. Obviously, you know, I want to keep Catalyst in business, so I'm happy to buy some mechs here and there. I'm thinking about getting the Alpha Strike box yet, next. I don't play Alpha Strike, but we might give it a shot. But you get a shit ton of mechs for that with that, and you get like 12 mechs or something, and it's like $60, $65. Plus you get some terrain, and I'm gonna have to remember my pacing for, not pacing, but where I need to position my hands. Let's see. So yeah, this is kind of different. When was the last time I streamed? It's probably been a long time ago. I'm gonna have to put some really little guys in here. It's been what, 2 years? 3 years? It's probably been more like 3 years, right? That actually might work. Those are kind of holding in nicely. I'm just gonna have to be careful once I get down here that I'm not re-washing these bases. Got like a Gauss rifle. That's a big fucker too. For some reason, all the Gauss kind of came out like bent, and I don't know why, because they were all supported really well from the creator. The Hextech stuff, some of it's free. The walls are free. Print them with FDM. Now I can't count you out of my list of favorite streamers. What? What do you mean? So Connery, what are you most excited for with the Mercenary box? Or the extra packs that we're getting? Or that you can get, I should say. Because I'm a streamer again. Yeah, we'll try it out. Like, I thought, hey, I stream, and when I paint, and when I paint, it's like, it's such a solo affair, right? Like, you're just kind of in your own little world, and I thought, hey, it might be fun to stream that. I bought like a boom for our D&D games because one of our players is moving, and I want to be able to basically keep the game physical because I really like the hobby side of it. I've got like terrain I've printed, and I'm in the process of painting. I've got like, we all have our own figure that I've painted. I really like the physical part of it. So I'm wanting to merge like hybrid online and physical. So we actually have like a good microphone setup. And I bought like a boom that is basically gonna be doing this and like over the game board. There were so many of these turrets. Thankfully, I'm keeping it simple. I'm keeping it very simple. So I'm not sure, those of you who paint out there, I'm not a big fan of Citadel in general because like they do make great paints, but they're just very, very expensive. And that's usually why I go with Army Painter, because I feel like the quality's the same, if not similar. However, for washes, I think the Citadel ones are better. I noticed that with the Army Painter washes, they're a bit thick and they pool up easier. This is me onboarding onto BattleTech physical side, so most of it. Narrowed my choices of force packs down to 4 on day 1, and the Kickstarter hit 7, so I don't have to make a cut. So that's awesome. Yeah, this is honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat. Me and my SO, she absolutely loves MechWarrior 5, and I've been playing BattleTech in some degree ever since MechWarrior 2, which is kind of a self-report on my age. But MechWarrior 2 was my first mech game, and I love MechWarrior 5, and I love the Harebrained Schemes BattleTech game. I love playing Rogue Tech on it. It's been a while since I played it. Exactly, treasure. But yeah, we've started playing the turn-based tabletop game and have a lot of fun with it. So something I want to do, let me show you guys something. I'll be right back real quick. It won't take very long. We'll see how well this shows up on camera. But these are walls for the Hextech system, and they all kind of. This is like a doorway, and this actually opens up, which is really cool. And they kind of link together, like so. And you can also put in, joints, or bins, I should say. So like, oh, this is gonna be going the other way. So that goes in like that. And now you're going along another angle. So what I wanna do with this is print out enough of these to make a Solaris 7 arena. And what I want to do is basically do like 1v1 mech battles at least once a week with her, so we can both get really good at the flow of the BattleTech tabletop game. And I don't know, maybe that could be something we stream too. We'll see. Harebrained Scheme game was better than I expected. Like, I didn't expect to be bad. It's really so good. Yeah, it's excellent. And if you get into some of the modding for it, specifically, I haven't tried 3062. I see Tex playing that every now and then. It looks like a good mod. I just haven't tried it, but I have tried Road Tech. And Rogue Tech is a lot of fun, especially the online element. It's not exactly online, but you kind of do contribute to like the overall war effort for your faction that you've signed up with. And it can be a lot of fun to kind of influence the map, and of course the map that you're playing in and who controls what territory is all influenced by like player input, which is really cool. My stupid sexy Hatamoto Chi hero mech that can reach 200 kilometers is so absurd. So I actually have a Hatamoto STL that I'm going to print, and I'm going to paint it like, I'm going to try to paint it like that hero mech in MechWarrior 5. Maybe it'll get sent to a lucky viewer. I know this probably isn't ideal. I should probably push everything up more a little bit. Kind of, let's see, we'll put this here, move these out of the way. Is the music okay? Do you guys want something more chill, or? This is like my music that I like fucking jam out to and when I want to paint some BattleTech. The Hatamoto is really good in urban combat. Oh, I bet. Dude, I miss my, I want to find an Atlas AS7-P, I think. That's the one that I put the axe in. I want to make the axe again in real life. Music's fine. Okay, cool. Because yeah, in tabletop, melee is insane. My partner, we're doing a 1v1 right now, and we haven't finished the game. I want to soon. Versus my Timberwolf and her Atlas, and she punched me, and like if I would have crit, I would have been over. It would have been a one shot, like literally one punch man, punch to the face kind of shit. So yeah, melee is actually legit in the tabletop. All right, let's get things going. So yeah, I'm gonna do a wash on these. When they dry, it's gonna take a while for them to dry, but we'll do all these that we can. I've got like another pile of turrets still. And then we'll go through and we'll hit some highlighters, hit some little details. Like I wanna do some of these little optics and things like that, but for the most part, these are nice and simple, and I don't wanna go too crazy on them. Oh yeah, something else I've kind of been working on. It's a little dusty right now, but I've got this very orky car that I'm working on. It's kind of hard to get all of it in frame because it is quite large. And the vehicle's almost done. I've got these orc guys that'll go in it. This is all from a company called Station Forge. And I got these to do basically not Warhammer. It's called One Page Rules, which is cool. It's like a lot more simple. Let me see if I can get this adjusted. Excuse me. Cold suck, dude. All right, let's get some of this in there. Oh yeah, I need to get my wood brush out of that. I've got these like, what's a word? Oh, that brush is like fucking locked up. Really? I literally washed this brush out. I have to massage it back into action. I've got this like really nice brush cleaner that I usually use after a painting session. It typically helps. Here we go. The nice thing with washes is that it's pretty much one of those things where you can just shut your brain off and chill. Because you're not like, oh my God, I gotta focus so hard. I don't wanna mess anything up. And if you get wash in spots that you don't want them, you just simply move it around, which is nice. This is kind of interesting, the whole IRL streaming thing, because it's like, you kind of got to know your marks, which reminds me of just being younger and doing stage acting. You got to know where you got to stand on the stage. It's kind of similar. It's like I got to know where my shot is so you can see. Some of these things might get some extra highlights just to bring back some of this color, this really nice Vallejo dark aluminum color. It's gonna be hard to see what I'm doing here because this is all at an angle. So yeah, God, it's been so long since I've streamed. It could be fun to stream some BattleTech, like the actual tabletop. Even if we are noobs. I wish there was like an actual, there's like a tabletop category, I think, or tabletop RPGs, but it's like, I don't know if there's actually one for BattleTech tabletop on Twitch. I suppose I could just do it under like Harebrained Schemes BattleTech. That's pretty fucking close because they use the board game rules. Some of these angles are not going to be ideal for you guys. I apologize. Watching the stream again is making my Nightwish pop unbidden. Wait, is making Nightwish pop unbidden into my mind back in the previous CD. Yes. The same person created what, the Harebrained and tabletop. I know that. So Harebrained worked on they also made the Shadowrun game, and Catalyst owns both of those properties. So I don't think Catalyst owns the Harebrained Schemes studio, but they must have an obviously like good working relationship with them. So hopefully we get some more games from them, because I enjoyed Shadowrun a lot as well, especially Dragonfall. I haven't played, what was it, Hong Kong? I think that was the latest one that came out. I have it, I just haven't played it yet. This is a little more awkward than I thought it was gonna be. Especially back here, it's gonna be really difficult to see what I'm doing. Jordan Weissman created BattleTech, Shadowrun, and Runs. Oh, okay, well, so that definitely explains it then. I will say, like, I wouldn't mind if somebody else started making the MechWarrior game. I mean, I love MechWarrior 5. I love the destruction and things, but it really took the fan patches to get that game where it needed to be. Because that game stock, like I played it when it came out. It was originally on Epic only, but it was also on Game Pass, back when Game Pass was brand new. And that's where I first played it. And that game out of the box had major issues, and it was not fun. So the fan patches really made that game. It's just, I mean, Piranha did some really good stuff as far as destruction and things like that. It's physically very fun to play. It's just, it needed some of that depth that the community patches brought to it. Try to move some of this wash around. I got a little bit sloppy on this one. But if these look grungy, that's totally fine because they're like defensive emplacements. They don't have to be pretty. Had some fun with it, but it was limited. The mods really did save it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm loving our current mod setup. We haven't really changed it. It's YAML, yet another mech lab that really just adds so much depth. The additional mods, clan stuff. I do want I am pretty happy with the DLCs they've added. We really like the mercenary company invasions. We have a lot of fun with that when that happens. I want to see them do like a Solaris 7 DLC. And I would love to see them do a clan invasions DLC. Although I don't know if we'll actually see a clan invasion DLC because that might be big enough for a full game. So in general, I guess what I'm saying is I like what they've done, but they needed, I don't know, maybe a little more fan input or some more input from like, yeah, people like Jordan Weisman. I'm almost done with this row. I might try to actually do some airbrushed highlights on this Gauss. Make it look a little cooler, but we'll see. I don't want to go turbo crazy on these turrets because they are just terrain, honestly. Although I do want to look at turret rules for BattleTech because I think it could be fun to actually set up some campaign scenarios where where one player is basically controlling, like, you know, oh, you're the planetary defense. You can use these turrets. You can use these garrison mechs. Stuff like that. Just kind of set up scenarios like you might find in some of the games. And maybe have like some cool like mercenary type features where maybe you could loot like a mech or something and kind of rank up your lance that way by getting better mechs that, you know, I could always print and paint up. I'm getting a little bit sloppy with this one. I need to calm down. I'm also kind of knocking it off its base. I used to use rubber cement to affix minis to like corks. I would use corks as like a painting handle. I'm glad that I actually invested some money and bought myself like a proper painting handle because I would get like cramped hands using corks because they're so small. But the rubber cement worked really freaking well. But now I just use sticky tack because I can reuse it. MechWarrior 5 on PS5 is an interesting experience, not really a great one. Yeah. Yeah, I could see how. So I'm like an immersion nerd, right? Like when I play Star Citizen, I've got like my HOTAS out. I know that like there are other ways to play it that's probably more better, but I love like the HOTAS setup just for immersion. However, with BattleTech, I play mouse and keyboard because it's just I don't know, it feels super janky to me to try to aim with the joystick in a battle mech. Got a little sloppy on these. That's okay though. Sorry, that's super close to this camera. I'm learning. This is a learning stream. But I think that's most of these painted. I'm gonna drag some of this wash down here. Yeah, I really dig the Citadel washes. It was actually worth the money. Actually, they were all gifts, but they were worth the money. They also do washes in different colors. So for that Urban Mac, I'll show you. So I painted this guy with, I used an airbrush for the base color, and then I did a wash with Poxwalker, which is like a green wash, and it really, really worked well on this. And then I went over and did some highlighting in a lighter shade of green. So yeah, I really dig their colored washes and everything. It's really nice. Now I've actually seen one of the Army Painter actually makes like an official mech painting kit, and it's interesting because they kind of rebrand some of their speed paints for some of the major colors. It is a Zaku green, you're right. Also, it's like a Star League Defense Force green, and I thought, hey, for like a generic garrison mech, you know, you can't go wrong with like green. And yeah, they actually rebranded the Orc Skin speed paint in the BattleTech Learn to Paint box, and it's a really cool box. I've got all of the paints outside of the box anyways, and it doesn't come with a model, which is interesting because Army Painter had an official line of D&D paints, and those did come with models, and I actually have a bunch of those paints, and these are just regular paints. These aren't air paints or contrast paints, but yeah, I actually do have the D&D paints that came with all the models. In fact, the owlbear that I use in my campaign is one of those models. Feels weird on controller. I had to turn on zoom to see the text. Oh, I bet. Yeah, so let's start on this other row. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I absolutely love the Cadian camo in Warhammer. And I think my next round of Garrison mechs, I'm gonna try airbrushing some camo. If I can figure out how to set the camera up for that so I'm not getting airbrushed paint on my phone, I will. I'll try to stream that. But it's a complete experiment. I'm still really new with the airbrush. I've used it for a few projects right now, but a lot of the time, I've got two airbrushes. I've got a really nice airbrush, and then I've got a very basic airbrush. The basic airbrush gets a lot of use for varnishing, or not varnishing, but priming, because you really don't want to use a good airbrush for your primer because it's really thick, the primer stuff, and it's kind of, it kind of turns rubbery when it dries. So yeah, you really don't want to send that through like a nice airbrush, but I do have a really nice airbrush, and it does make a huge difference when you're actually trying to paint things. So I'm looking forward to using it a little more for more detailed things. Just gonna get into those lines. How's the microphone on this? Does it sound okay? It's gonna be a little weird because there's no carpet in this room, and it's a very large room. It's actually, technically, I'm kind of on my kitchen. We have like a bar, a very large bar, and my whole painting area is kind of at the end of it. And it's a one big, like, it's like, you know, the modern layout with like the kitchen and living room is all one area. And we don't have carpet or anything that would dampen the sound. I'm getting a little heavy with the wash on this, but I kind of don't care. Sounds fine, good. I need to like put a marker down where the camera's view is. I'll probably go back through and probably dry brush on these just to bring back some of that nice metallic that we get from the Vallejo. There's a few different things I want to do for mech painting, just kind of experiment. And this is kind of why I like using resin models when I'm learning, because it costs not even $1, like 50 cents to print one in resin. So my investment is really small, even if I do mess up. Obviously you can strip paint and stuff, but I don't really like to do that. And I don't know, I think there's some value in leaving your paint jobs the way they are. Just kind of see, you can always kind of see where you came from, right? Like I could show you one of my first paints that I've ever done, and it looks like a mess. And it was done with hobby acrylics. I'm gonna try to wipe away some of this because I got really happy with that. Wow, that got washed way more than I wanted to. Thankfully, wash is very forgiving. Kind of just slap it on and let it do its thing and try to clean up some of the pooling. This is gonna be a weird one because it's at an angle. I wish, oh my God, that's coming up. Ooh, let's not do that. Let's not. No, it wants to run away. I'm gonna have to touch it, unfortunately. This one's being a little difficult. It's not uncommon for me to finish a painting session and my fingers are covered in paint. Thankfully, acrylics wash off fairly easily over time, so. Yeah, I'll have to try a Gunpla model. That sounds like it could be fun. Just to try it. What Gunpla model did you get? Try to move some of this around. I got a lot on there. The thing I noticed with the Army Painter washes is that it's harder to move them around. It seems like the Citadel wash is a little bit more thin. It's a little more thinned out. Tried to DIY a panel wash with isopropyl alcohol and a gunmetal Gundam marker once for science. It sort of worked out. Dries too fast. It still left glittery spots after cleanup. Maybe ruined your calligraphy nib. Oh, is that like what they call the quill thing? I don't know much about calligraphy. I have horrible handwriting, so I keep my ass away from calligraphy. I guess my handwriting's not horrible. It's bad though. It's like a whole skill, calligraphy is. I still really dig this metal, even after the wash is on it. This one right here was actually a failed print. So this whole section, it should be double like this, but it didn't print. So I'm like, well, I can still use it. I just might paint this up like battle damage or something. Or just leave it like it is. Maybe it's just only a dual instead of a quad. I'm actually really excited to get all of the Hex Tech stuff printed. Because yeah, like I said, I'm an immersion nerd, so I love having physical things on the table that are actually representative of what you're seeing when you play. So if I have to be the person to paint that stuff up, I'm more than happy to. I was always fascinated by like miniatures when I was little. Like, I think sometimes we go to like, we see like model trains and museums and stuff like that, and I always thought it was super cool, these miniature little worlds. And for me, I like that stuff with tabletop gaming, because not only do you have this cool miniature little world that you get to build, but it's functional, right? You get to play with it. You get like a game you can play with it. There's a reason for it to be there. Dip pin, the nibs are metal and replace. Oh, I see. Is that what got you into video games? It's definitely why I'm into certain kinds of video games, for sure. Like SimCity was a big one that I was absolutely fascinated with when I was little. SimCity 2000 to be specific. And but yeah, I love immersive games in general, and it doesn't matter if it's tabletop or a computer game. I just love the immersion factor. And the stuff that I can do to kind of make things more immersive for tabletop, I'm happy to learn. I can't say I've been painting a long ass time. I kind of go through spells where I should be painting more and I don't. And now I've got like such a massive backlog of stuff that needs painted. Thankfully with BattleTech, a good motivator is having somebody that's into it with you. So I feel like motivation to paint, because it's not just for me. D&D is kind of the same way, you know. Getting our party painted up. Got a few other things that I've painted for a campaign. Stuff like that, which is really cool. We're almost done with these. I'm just gonna have some more to paint. Once these are dry, I think we can move on to something else now, which is cool. We can move on to actual mechs. Come to think of it, all of my favorite games ever are all like immersive ones, like Daggerfall, Privateer, things like that. There we go. We're good on those. Let me just put these over here to try. Here's a beheaded Ogren. He's been zenithal primed. So that's where he's primed in black, and then you shoot white primer from the top, and it kind of gets these really cool dramatic highlights. So he's ready to be painted, but I haven't painted him yet. He's absolutely massive. So he's like heroic scale. And I've got some other people that are like heroic scale that are dwarfed by him. Here's a really cool like Lady Commissar. These are, this is also a Station Forge miniature. This is not a Station Forge miniature. I got this one off of my mini factory. But yeah, you can see they are in scale with each other, just how big the Ogren is. So that's the thing. I want to try to find the heads I have. I'm not sure where his head went. It's around here somewhere. I want to find some goofy ones like in Darktide, but the ones I find don't have any hair. But I really love the facial hair on the ones on Darktide. They do look really cool in monochrome. Yeah. I've actually given some cyberpunk models to people that were I just did the zenithal highlighting just to bring out all the detail. and because I just didn't have time to paint them. But the person that got them still really loved them. Kind of looks like a manga or something. Speaking of Cyberpunk, I'm gonna paint her up someday. I'm sure those of you who played Cyberpunk know who that is. Let's look at this guy. I want to paint up a little loot goblin. He's got his bag of treasure. Some of these guys are going to get speed painted because I just want to get through them, get them painted. Here's, if there's anybody from my D&D campaign watching, I don't think there is. Don't look at the screen right now. This is, he's kind of being speed painted, but this is a guy that's in our campaign. This one I'm gonna paint for my mom. She loves rabbits. So I thought this was cute. It's like a gnome, a little gnome adventurer, mage, or maybe a druid that's on a little giant bunny rabbit. Look like black and white photos. Yeah, they do. The big Timberwolf mini. That's gonna be nice when it arrives. Looking forward to that. Yeah, the 4-inch one. I'm super looking forward to that one. The Timberwolf is my favorite mech. I know that's kind of cliche, right? Because it's kind of like it's like the poster mech that's on all the box art and everything, but I fucking love the Timberwolf, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I love the Timberwolf. There are plenty of other mechs I also love, but it's definitely my favorite, so. Something I'm really fucking digging in MechWarrior 5 right now, I have a Jaeger mech, and I fucking ranked it out with 2 AC2 burst fires and 2 AC5 burst fires, a bunch of clan ranked internals. It's just it's a beast, and it's really fucking good at killing mechs. Like, really good at killing mechs. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm actually using that more than my Timberwolf because the Timberwolf in her save game, I'm missing a clan LRM-20, and we cannot find any clan tech to replace it. So it's kind of a nerfed Timberwolf, if I'm honest. It still has good damage output, but man, that Jaeger mech is just tears things up. Yeah, not a cat. Favorites of Vulture? Yes, the Vulture's amazing. In fact, here we go. The Vulture's the same as the Mad Dog, right? Mad Dog Vulture. Yeah, here we go. This guy's gonna get painted soon. This is also a 3D print. You can probably see some little imperfections back there where the supports were, like right there. It's not so visible once it's painted, but yeah. So yeah, those are drying. I'm gonna take some drink. Cat with Arms is a classic. I'm a fan of the Crusader, but Robotech is probably the first anime I saw. So that whole batch of Unseen is, yeah, so that's actually funny you mentioned that. My partner loves, like, I think Robotech might have been one of her first two, and she absolutely loves Robotech. And that's kind of why she's into BattleTech, I think. And I'm like, well, you know, funny you should mention that, because that's kind of where, to some degree, BattleTech got its start. And so I think I'm gonna have to print some of those Unseen mechs and paint them up for fun. Let's see, move this over here. I need more room. I need more room. If you guys saw this, it would be ridiculous, because I've got just stuff that needs painted. Maybe this will help me paint through some things. So like this, let me move this. This is a whole ass like hermit house that's been 3D printed that needs painting. I've got like this cyberpunk kind of car that needs painted. Here's some more cyberpunk cars. Here's a Lamborghini Countach police car. Another one without a wing that's not like a police car. There's also, this should be real fun for a cyberpunk game. It's like a cyberpunk A-Team van. That's a lot of fun. And this is just stuff in arm's reach. I've got stuff put away that I've printed, and it's just like, it's starting to overflow. Here's a guy. He's gonna get painted. He's actually in our campaign. Well, he looks just like a guy that's gonna be in our campaign, or well, that is in our campaign I'm gonna paint up. I gotta get him based. I don't have a base for him yet. God, what else is there? There's like a whole stack over here that's off camera that is just of stuff. Oh yeah, I gotta show you the one thing. Nobody Tell Games Workshop, but I printed a tank. In fact, it happens to be a Rogaldorn, like, so that'll be fun to paint up. Cyberpunk or post-apoc, depending entirely on how much rust. It's absolutely. Funny you mentioned post-apoc. There's a game called Gaslands, and it's a lot like BattleTech, only it's like Mad Max kind of auto racing. And here's a car I'm working on for that. So you kind of just take like a Hot Wheels car, and I strip mine down because I want to do my own paint. I've even stripped the chrome, and I've also added a 3D printed driver. So let me see if I can, I think this is in there kind of snug. 3D printed wheels. I'm gonna add guns to it. I'm also gonna add like a gunner, because that back part, if I leave the window out, you could have like a guy standing back there with like a turret. So yeah, it's getting some work. This is also something that's been sitting there forever. One of my first things that I was like experimenting with the Gasland stuff before I got any 3D printed stuff was this hearse. This was just me, just like I stripped paint on a car and primed it and just went through, and I just wanted to practice fine detail. So, because this was like some goofy like green color, and I'm like, I want it to look like a hearse, so it's got to be black. And I even did like the little Cadillac and all that stuff. So this might get guns added to it to be like a cool hearse post-apocalyptic battle car. Yeah, there's too much stuff that needs paint. All right, let's focus. Let's actually do some painting again. I do need to move my turrets though. It's funny, when you have access to a 3D printer and you have like a wide range of things that you're interested in, you just manage to print out a bunch of stuff. Actually, I want to show you guys one more thing that I printed that's fun, that won't really need much print painting. So my partner teaches school, she teaches English to people who don't speak English as a first language. And they're usually done with school probably a week before school gets out. So she's gonna have like a Mario Kart tournament, and she had me print these out of plastic. So I've got a bronze one I'm gonna be printing soon. I just got the filament for it today. But we've got trophies. I'm just gonna get some black on there for the eyes and the number. But yep, ESL, it's 100% what she does. This one could have been better. I messed up when I prepared this file. This is something, if you haven't printed an FDM, and you might in the future, check your wall count. Because if you want a wall count of at least 4, and that's like the external surface is what counts as a wall. Because if you don't do a wall count of at least 4, you get these lines. And this is my understructure that's showing through. And ordinarily it wouldn't be a big deal, especially if I was painting this. but because I'm using this silver filament and it's staying silver, it kind of is visible, especially when it hits the light like that. This is one that I did the wall count of 4, and it's nice and smooth. You do see some polygons. That's just how it's modeled. The person that made these, it's pretty low poly, these are, but they still, I mean, I don't know, it kind of looks like a video game, so it's kind of cool that way. But yeah, it's just something to point out. Little pro tip for, yeah, it's the silver one, it's not the gold one. Yeah, just a little pro tip if you're thinking about getting into printing and you're doing plastic printing. Aliasing in real life. Yeah, exactly, I like it. Funnily enough, aliasing is actually a real thing with resin printing. You can actually turn on anti-aliasing when you're preparing your file for printing, and you need to do that. Otherwise, you might actually have jaggies or something. I don't know. I've never done it without, so. All right, looks like I got about an hour of painting before I might need to get some dinner. Let's see, I don't know if I can get my wet palette in this. I probably won't deal with putting the palette in the screen. This guy, I'm kind of doing this in my own custom unit colors, the Gray Wolves. Something I want to try to do, they have transfer paper that you can get for printers, and I'm gonna probably have some custom decals printed up and see if I can get them that small to where I can get like the wolf's head and stuff on some of these larger flat panels. To get some unit markings and stuff would be kind of cool. So for this one, I'm using uniform gray. I know it looks like primer, but it kind of fits the gray that I wanted to go for, that matched the in-game color. Ultramarine blue for the blue, and then just regular black for the black. So not the craziest paint job, but I thought it would be fun to kind of just add some. So I'm probably gonna do some edge highlighting now. So I'll probably start with the gray. I'll take the gray and do a little bit of white with it, so I can get a lighter color. Although I probably could just use, I do have stuff in the triad. So one nice thing, why is it spelled British? Why is it spelled British? Because it's a Tuesday, you know, Gov. I could use this is one of the cool things about these Army Painter air paints, is that if you get the set, they come with like a base mid and a highlight. And they kind of tell you which ones are which. And that's kind of how I've organized all of my paints, which is kind of cool. So I could probably just use this Cadre Gray as a highlight. That's kind of what I did for the Urban Mech, is I used the highlight paint out of the bottle for that. But I think what I want to do, you know what, let's see what it looks like, because I could actually save some mixing. I love my Urbies. I'm gonna print some more Urbies. And I thought it would be fun to do like a, oh hey Game of Cthulhu, how you doing? How you been? I wanna do like an Urban Mech slap fight. So if I get the Solaris Arena set up, maybe we'll stream that. We'll stream some Urban Mech slap fights. All right, let's mix this up. Let's see how it goes. For my brush, I'm probably gonna use this guy. It's my Insane Detail brush. Probably overkill for highlighting, but we'll see. I do have some small highlights to do, so. So one nice thing about these air paints, they're made to be shot out of an airbrush out of the bottle, so they're already thinned down. And say hi from you. To whom? So these are made to be shot out of an airbrush, and they're thinned down to such a degree that I don't think they really need thinned down any further, especially when they're added to a wet palette. If you don't know what a wet palette is, some people might be new to paints here. This is a wet palette. It's basically like a piece of paper that's on a sponge. I need to add some more water to this. And it just kind of absorbs moisture. These paints have been in here. Some of them weren't ran, so not ideal, but some of these other paints, like this gray right here, have been in here for days. So if I really wanted them to last, I could put this in the fridge and it would keep them better. Oh no, I hear you. No, she's refereeing. She's not gonna be home for like another hour, so I'll probably stream for another hour. And then we will, I think we're having curry tonight, so it should be yummy. It's kind of cool. This is like the OG stream, all the OG followers. It's cool. I'm glad some of you are like here and hanging out. Like, that's kind of cool. I didn't know if anybody would be watching at all. I just thought it'd be fun to stream a little bit, see what happened. See what happens. All right. So if you're thinking about getting into painting, somebody that I really like this is great for highlighting. I don't know if you guys can see this too well. That color is actually exactly what I need it to be. I just got a little bit of paint on my brush. And I'm not even really touching the model that hard. I'm just kind of dragging it over that edge there. Warhammer painters are people that are like experts in edge highlighting, and that is not me. You're jelly about the curry? Yeah, I would be jelly too if I wasn't having curry. But this is just gonna help kind of pump out those panels a little more as far as visual interest. Some of this is gonna be really hard to see because I have to angle the model. But there's a guy on YouTube called Duncan Rhodes. That's R-H-O-D-E-S, Duncan Rhodes. He's a former like official Games Workshop painter. And he does painting tutorials. He has a really cool BattleTech one. I don't know if he has a Gunpla one, but he kind of just, his kind of catchphrase is too thin coats. And the reason why I say that is like the consistency that he shows his paint at for the too thin coats is like about what these air paints are when they come out of the bottle. Which is kind of nice because that means that you can immediately start painting with them. Well, let me paraphrase that, or let me rephrase that. It's the same consistency when they come out onto a wet palette because the wet palette adds a little bit of moisture. Some of these edges are going to be a little difficult to hit. Kind of just hitting up the side of my brush. It really does make it pop though. It's fun. A lot of these things you kind of just get into like a zen. I find having a good music playlist helps too. Montage music. It's kind of fun to do this while streaming. Paints have gotten much better now. I love the speed paint from RV Painter for real. Yeah, dude, check it out. I've got like a whole line. This is Speed Paint 1.0. I have a whole complete set of Speed Paint 2.0 coming. I think at the end of March or May, actually. I love my speed paints. I've never really had reactivation problems with them. That said, the new speed paints that are coming out do not have reactivation problems. So people that were worried about that, I probably did not want to highlight that. That's fine. I'll just stop there. Doing this highlight's going to be a little difficult. Yeah, I'm looking forward to using up speed paints to blast through some of this backlog that I have. Yeah, I really need to just be highlighting the parts where the light's hitting. Oh, you can't even really hardly tell anyways, it's not a big deal. You kind of have to get into like the Bob Ross school of thought when you're painting. Like, you're gonna make mistakes and that's okay. Nice thing with acrylics, it's really easy to fix. And sometimes it just doesn't matter because you are the only person that's gonna see that. I might actually thin this down just a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit not as milky as I want it to be. I've got all of these dwarves. So if you're into dwarves and you have access to a resin printer, there's a company called Highland Miniatures and they make awesome fucking dwarf sculpts. They also make undead that are really cool too. But just as an example, here's a couple of them. I have like, I have almost a whole army of these dwarves painted or printed that needs painting. So here's like a berserker, not a slayer. And here's like a cool dwarf miner. He's got like his little hat with like a candle there and he's got like a little lantern here and he's got his pickaxe or pick hammer. He's got some tools on his belt. But I've got a whole bunch of these and they're all different poses and things like that. I think they've just released dwarven engineers and just all kinds of really cool stuff. And you can use them with, there's a game called One Page Rules and they have kind of like alternate Warhammer and alternate 40K and you can use them in their fantasy as a dwarven army. So those guys are probably going to get they're gonna get speed painted for sure. And I might even print some additional ones up for a campaign to be a certain kind of evil dwarf that we keep encountering. This music is like, it just makes me want to blast through painting so bad. Some good montage painting music. I need to make sure I'm in shot, I'm sorry. I'm completely new to this streaming while painting thing. Kind of try to just work my way around a model. This has like, almost like Gran Turismo vibes, Gran Turismo music. I might get this a little bit more thin. I don't know if I'm hearing thunder outside or if I'm just hearing like loud people banging. That might be a bit too thin. That's way too thin. Oh wow, my battery's actually on low power. Hang on a second. I need to actually plug my thing into the wall. I didn't realize it was drawing that much power. Hold up 1 second. That's wild. I had a full battery when I started the stream. That's how much it drained it. That's crazy. All right, now you guys are plugged into the power, so we won't have a stream drop. Have ads been super intrusive? I know ads on Twitch are cancer lately. So what do you paint, gamer? Cthulhu? Haven't seen an ad yet? Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear. Daddy Bezos has too much money. Fuck, that's way too thick. Too much paint on my brush for that one. Thankfully, you can kind of erase acrylics if you get to it fast enough. So like that is basically erased. Oh, I had that off screen when I did it. As on Twitch lately, it's been crazy. The mech is looking good. Thank you. Thank you, Cthulhu. I'm blaming the meds. Yes. Haven't noticed them. I want to grab some food and look at the first batch of Kickstarter digital awards that went up during the stream. Oh, for BattleTech? Hell yeah, I'll have to look at that later. I couldn't believe that Kickstarter. So here's something to put in a perspective. The Clan Invasion Kickstarter, which was their last major box set, that did that did 2.5 million. Mercenaries did 7.5 million, which is amazing. So it kind of feels like we're kind of in the middle of like another BattleTech resurgence. And I say another because I feel like we had one with Hairbrain, all of that stuff. But I think in the past year, a lot of people have left Warhammer and have moved to BattleTech. And I think a lot of these people now are kickstarting and things like that. So just pretty rad, honestly. It's such a great world, lore, and the community is really awesome for BattleTech. There we go, get some highlights on there. Got the email an hour ago. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it definitely does feel like we're kind of in like a new renaissance for BattleTech. That one could be a little lighter. I wonder if this would be easier if I moved my chair up. Some of these angles, it's like you always want to paint your model in an angle that's gonna let you hit the angle that you need to without having to contort yourself too much. But unfortunately, that could use a new renaissance. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna try making my chair go higher. We'll see if this is a little easier. It's definitely easier to see the camera. There's some spots where the wash was a little heavy on this that I actually kind of dig because it looks like grunge. but that's okay. I can always go back with gray paint later and touch these up, make them look a little cleaner. How's the image quality? Is it streaming at like 1080? Wow, that one was bad. We'll definitely touch these up. Hit this panel, maybe. It's definitely difficult hitting some of these angles while dealing with the camera, but that's okay. I'm not gonna go too heavy on these because that's like bottom. I do need to hit the inside of that gun though. Yeah, we're gonna have to get like my main BattleTech MechWarrior save going again. That one's way thick, that's fine though. Part of me is kind of wanting to start anew though. Like, it's kind of fun to have scrub level tech and start a new campaign. Oof, I might just stop there for that. Do a little over here on this leg actuator. Over here too. Has anybody seen that new detective game? I forget what it's called. It's kind of pixel 3D looking. And it's basically, it's like an alternate 1980s kind of, I wouldn't say Blade Runner. It's probably a lot more, if you've seen the film Brazil, but it's all procedurally generated. Yeah, it's like voxel. The whole city is procedurally generated. All of the characters have lives. They have a place where they live. They have a job somewhere. Shadows of Doubt. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, I was watching Tomato play it, and it's actually really fascinating, the game, and it's kind of an immersive sim, so you can play it in different ways. And of course, he was playing it like a complete goblin, which was hilarious to watch. Scrub level tech is why Gran Turismo is best at the beginning, where all you have is a shitty key car and a used Miata in a color you hate. Yes, 100% that. That's something, I will be honest, that's something, even though I do love the Forza series, that Forza has a real problem with, because Forza just throws like supercars at you and shit, and it's like, no, I wanna be a scrub for a bit, you know, like make me struggle, give me a crappy car, make me race more powerful cars with my crappy car that I've upgraded. Like, that's so fun to me. I love that progression. It's hard to find that. Honestly, I honestly probably think Gran Turismo is probably the only game that does that. And if the newest one ever comes to PC, I'll probably play it. But I won't be buying a PS5. Not for any reason other than like PlayStation, well, Sony, I should say, is starting to finally see the value of bringing their games to PC. So it seems a little silly to buy a PlayStation 5 if you already have a gaming PC, because eventually the games will come out. I feel like I might be done with gray highlights soon. A lot of my blue highlights are going to be weird because they are like on rounded surface and things like that. I remember taking a Geo Metro and souping it up to a GT1 and just laughing all the way. Yeah, exactly. Well, something I love that they don't do in Gran Turismo anymore. In the original game, and you might have been able to do this in the sequel, but in the first game I know for sure you could. There were certain cars you could take and have like a full race conversion done, and it would like change how the car looked completely. Like it would put on body kits and all kinds of stuff. It was really, really, really cool. And I wish that they still did that. Like, yeah, there's, you know, you can throw wings and stuff on them and some body kits, but this was like a full conversion. Like it would take the interior out and put in race seats and stuff like that, and it's really cool. And it would put a livery on it. Another nice thing about Army Painter paints, they come with mixing balls pre-installed, which makes them really easy to get your paint mixed. 2 did have it. Yeah, I thought 2 had it, yeah. I think two was a lot, just amazing. 2 was probably one of the best. 2 and what was it, 4? Or was it 5? I think I kind of stopped playing after the PS2 era. The last one that released on PS2 was like my favorite Gran Turismo. I got like a really weird shininess on this part of the mech, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was the, it must have been the wash drying weird. But that won't matter because I'm going to hit it with a matte varnish. It's gonna dull the colors down a little bit, but then I'm gonna go through and hit the metallics with some shiny varnish to bring the metallics back to a more lustrous state. Oh yeah, that works perfect for the highlighting. Five was the first PS3 one. Okay, so it might have been PlayStation 4's last one, or Gran Turismo 4. At least the car models and some of the maps are just reused assets from 4. Maybe not the maps, might be to the PSP. I'm not sure, honestly. I'll go with whatever you say. I knew somebody that would actually take the photo mode in one of the Gran Turismos and would make, like, do car photography and then print them out as mats and sell them to people, like mouse pads and stuff. I'm not gonna go super hard on the black highlights because I don't have too much to do, but this doesn't have to be perfect. I am not a golden demon contender, nor do I wish to be. Much respect to people that are, though. That's like I think it's mostly Warhammer, but it's like a painting competition, and it's kind of surprising, like, the people that enter that are on just a whole other level. I just want to paint stuff that looks good on the tabletop. That's all I care about. And that's why a lot of my backlog is gonna get speed painted. I kind of wonder if I should put these streams under like the BattleTech game or just keep it on art. I don't know what would be better. I might do that. It's so dark under there. I might hit that with a highlight anyways. Just to break this up a little bit. Just that bit though, and this bit. Already got the gun. Might do some highlighting on these legs, not too crazy though. It's gonna be a little weird because it's curved, so I might just cut it, maybe blend that down. I don't know. I'm not the best with blending, so we'll see how this goes, at least for that part. That's the thing with painting miniatures, it's just a practice thing, and I don't have a lot of practice, so you just kind of have to accept that you'll make mistakes, and if it's really bad, you can go back over it. Otherwise, it maybe could be a happy accident and turned into something that is fine, or let's see what this looks like. If I just go like, whoop, and I'll just try to blend this in. Not sure I'm a fan of that. It's almost too, like, too thin. No, let's actually clean that up. That was a happy accident that did not work. An unhappy accident. I don't think I need a panel line curved surfaces. We'll be fine. If they've been metallics, I might actually try to dry brush them. I'm still trying to decide if I want to do the cockpit in like a copper color or just not. In the game, the Mech Warrior 5, it's kind of a copper color. And I'm trying to decide if that might make it more interesting to look at or just keep the silver. Some of the mechs, what I do, at least with the Irby, I actually put in, it's kind of hard to tell because it's really small, but I actually used the speed paint for the windows on that one. And I might go through, once this is varnished, with some shiny varnish in there just to bring out like the glass effect. Some people paint in highlights and everything like that. I feel like it might work to just use some, for those ones that are recessed, use that speed paint to get that effect. All right, so Cadre Cray can go back. Crow Hue can also go back. Let's see, do we have a copper in Vallejo? Dull aluminum, semi-matte aluminum, copper. I do have a copper. We'll try it. If it's not great, then we will just paint it back with these are all the turrets I still have to wash. My washes might be done on those others, so it might be time to do another round of washing. So for metallics, you don't want to use a wet palette because it will cause the, they have like a fine pigment in them that brings out the metallic, and it will make that separate, and it will not be good. So let's see how this looks, because I'm gonna try to do like, try to keep some of the silver details so I can have like a frame around the windows, and then the window itself will be the copper. We'll see. I think painting a metallic over a metallic should work well. Oh, I'm digging that actually. I think that's gonna look good. I'm sorry, this is not on camera. Like just over here painting away, it's like, oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. It's definitely a little more difficult to hit some of these angles. I'm really actually digging that. Yeah, we're gonna keep this rolling. Yeah, so I've got like right in here, I'm gonna do a little bit of copper. Be very careful not to hit any of the silver that I want for the let's see. I think this actually comes down a little bit more, right? Or is that all? It kind of looks like all one piece, actually. It's this upside down one I have to get, that's upside down angle I have to get more used to with the camera. And yes, if you are painting, it is perfectly okay to stick your tongue. I am streaming. Say hi to everyone. Oh, I got muted somehow.
Can they hear me?
I don't know. Can you guys... Am I actually muted? I shouldn't be muted. Weird.
Who else watching? I forgot.
There's like 6 people watching. Some OGs from the stream.
Is it working good?
It seems to be, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm muted while I'm on this. It's weird.
That's okay. I'll let you go, baby. I'm on my way. I'll be home right before 6:30.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably wrap up streaming around then.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm not anymore? Okay, cool. You were for a bit. Okay, so now you can say hi to everyone.
Hello.
She says hello.
All right. I'll let you go. I'll see you in a bit.
Alrighty, see you then.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. There we go. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm digging that copper. That's exactly how it looks in MechWarrior 5. I think that's a winner. And I kind of tried to keep some of that highlighting from the, well, not highlighting, but shadows from the wash that went over the silver, or metallic aluminum, I should say. Yeah, that's kind of rad. I dig it. What I want to do is I might go into some of these lasers and hit them with like maybe a white, and then after the white I'm gonna hit them with a speed paint to make some of those lasers kind of pop out, like the laser lenses. So we'll try that. Oh, she's got like a 30-minute drive. She referees soccer, so anybody that's into soccer or football, if you're from Europe, proper football. She's actually really, really good at refereeing. In fact, she's refereeing a tournament this weekend, so there's a chance that I might be streaming a bunch of painting this weekend if people are into this, because yeah, I'll be hanging out on my own, which means it's hobby time. So I'm trying to think. I know these up here are not, I kind of painted these as like headlights. I think I might leave them as they are. But I know for a fact these are lasers, and these down here are lasers. These are obviously like probably autocannons, or they might be PPCs actually. This might be PPCs, and this is obviously a big ass autocannon. So I think I'm gonna hit those little lasers with just a dot of white in each, let it dry, and then I'm gonna hit it with probably some green for like a laser, just to get some like the lens effect going. Oh yeah, I should probably highlight the blue while I'm here. For that, I'm gonna use, let's see. Is that really? No, that's not what I need. I'm gonna use this one. The console blue. Box on the bottom is lasers, circles are PPC. Yeah. I believe this is is this the 3M? I'm not sure which variant this is. There are so many different variants of Marauders and how they look, from the cockpit section and weapon layouts and everything. I kind of dig that. Like the Marauder is The Marauder is an awesome mech. This is one of my favorites. I love chicken walkers. Absolutely love chicken walkers. Although I'm not a fan of like the Robotech Battleoid looking Marauders. Not really a fan of those. That's just because I think what I like about the Marauder is the more chunky upper section, and the chunkier legs. Like to me, this particular Marauder reminds me of Ed 209 from RoboCop, and I love it for that. I don't think I'll need any more of that. We're not doing a lot of blue highlighting. I'm just gonna hit some very small spots for blue. If my VODs are working, I might upload this to my YouTube channel. I don't know if they turn off VODs if you haven't streamed in a long time. 3M replace PPCs with large lasers according to Sarna. Yeah, that's probably about right. What is this, the 3P then? I don't remember. There's a few variants I know, and this is not one of them. These blues with just a little bit of shading. Yeah, I'm actually kind of digging this setup, like for streaming. I was like, oh, I'll never be able to stream like painting because I'll need like a PC in there, and I'm like, well, you know what? I know you can stream from the app for IRL stuff, so maybe it'll work good for mini painting. Oof, brush is looking sorry right now. But the nicest thing is like it's easy to set up. Might hit this one up here just a little bit more just to bring some of that in line with the lower. There are all 35 variants on the page for standard Marauder. Yeah, I don't doubt that. It is General Motors' best mech they've ever made, so probably best vehicle in general, you know, like, you know, we're working with, you know, Malibus and things like that. Well, other than maybe the Corvette. I love that GM is like a manufacturer of mechs in BattleTech. Just gonna hit this guy up a little bit. I don't know if I really want to highlight the... I did like a stripe of blue around the guns in the front. I don't really know if I really want to hit that. From above, it looks like more like a plane than a... Yeah, actually, there's a lot of plane-like features on the Marauder. There's even ones with little winglets out here. And I know that variant is... I think that variant is actually in MechWarrior 5. Can I just say it's really cool to see you guys again? Especially, like, yeah, all the OGs. I love it. I kind of miss hanging out. But I notice that when I stream, I tend to take it way too seriously. And then I stop enjoying it. So this is just going to be a fun thing. Because, yeah, like I said, I think with painting in particular, it's such like like a, not lonely, but you know what I mean. It's such a isolated kind of thing that it's kind of cool to just hang out, talk with folks. My job went fully remote, so I have like no social interaction. Catch you soon as your friends tries. Yeah, I'm fully remote too, dude. I love it though, to be honest. I absolutely love it. Because, yeah, I get like an hour of sleep back a day. I don't have to worry about commuting. So my fuel costs have gone way down, even though I do have a fuel efficient car. I just still, you know, don't spend much on fuel. Yeah, it's just nice. But you're right though. Yeah, the social interaction is definitely a thing. Thankfully, yeah, we've got our D&D game. Her friends are amazing and they've become my friends, so that's awesome. We actually went out, hung out with them yesterday. Got some good Mexican food. Had maybe a few too margaritas, but for a Monday, it definitely felt like a Friday. Where did the music go? Oh yeah, let's listen to the chill music. Is there any place I want blue that or there isn't blue? Oh yeah, I want to hit this front part a little bit with some blue. I don't want a little heavy on that shading, but like 2 hours to escort this stupid ship in my game. God kill me. Are you playing X4? I think I saw you playing that. I bought the Boron DLC. I haven't tried it yet though. They had like a deal, like a pack, and because I already had the like all the DLC, I got the Boron DLC for like $12, so I couldn't resist. All right, let's get our white in there for those lasers. We're almost done with this Mac, at least where I want to call it. I'm really loving that copper. That turned out, that's, well, not really a happy accident. I'm just pleasantly surprised with how that copper turned out. I'm digging it. Oh yeah, we gotta hit the metallics up. Don't let me forget. Gotta hit the metallics. Boron playthrough, I like the designs of the ships and such. Yeah, the designs for the Boron ships are amazing. Interesting fleet of ships with the destroyers hot garbage and have a rough time with station capital destruction sticking to pure Boron designs. That's fair. To be fair, the old Boron's design looked really fucking weird. The new one just looks weird because it's new. Yeah, that's fair. Literally aquariums in space. Yeah, that's true. Let's go, gummy. I'm at the awkward stage of the cold where the cold has like run its course, but I still have like weird congested stuff going on. No, gracias, do not like. Let's see if I can get some dots in there without screwing anything up. Boron are really funny. Oh, I love the look of the new borons though. They're really cute. Little fish people. In fact, this is the DLC I've really been looking forward to because I loved the boron character that you meet in the main X4 storyline. I feel like these are headlights right here. Are these headlights? These, or are they intakes like right here? Specifically there. I feel like those are headlights. Yeah, Basso. Those are the lights. Okay, those are getting painted too. So I'm doing white so I can come in with a speed paint and hit them. It'll give like a cool effect, I think. I've also heard speed paints over metallics are really cool. Haven't tried that. What I want to do is I want to print out a bunch of Urbies, right? Like identical Urbies. And I want to do different things with them. Like I want to do one that's all speed painted. I want to do another that's like, I already did one that's like a traditional method where you have a base paint, base coat, and you, that's gonna be messed up if I try to correct that. So like this one was traditionally painted where I primed it, base coated it, did a wash, did highlights, did some extra details. I do actually need to do one more details on this. I'm gonna do, I wanna do this little guy for like a lens. So this one's like much more traditionally painted, but I wanna do one that's completely speed painted. One that's like, maybe I airbrush some details in. Just kind of see what I like best, because I've not really painted, these are my first mechs. I usually just paint like monsters and people. So we'll go back through, I'll throw some speed paint on that to get some, looks like the MechWarrior Online 2C, so they would be 4 smalls on the torso, a PVC and a medium on each arm, and a PVC on the top. Could be. It is probably the MWO. Because I noticed they tend to, the person that I downloaded these from, which aren't hard to find if you do a Google search for like BattleTech STLs, I know they use MWO, and I know they also use some MW5, so. I feel like, let me hit this one just a little bit more. There we go, got a little bit more of a circle there. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
find some elevator music?
Elevator music. It's like the Mech Warrior R&R stream or something. Krispy Kreme. She got donuts. Chat.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser at
Fundraise donuts.
Oh, it's not elevator music. It kind of sounded like.
Oh, I see. Spork says welcome home.
Hi, Sport.
She says hi,
Who
Spork.
else watching?
We got 6 people right now.
Cool.
A bunch of OGs from when my stream was a little baby.
I want to see your just. Oh, cool.
So I just painted all these little white spots, and I'm gonna go in
Nice.
with some.
Is that the Marauder?
This is the Marauder, yeah. I did some edge highlighting, as you can see. It's almost done. I'm gonna hit some speed
Wow,
paints
the
in
Twitch
there.
stream on your phone even still is pretty good. You can see chat and everything.
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of digging it. It's funny because
Oh, you can see yourself here.
I did, but I can't play music and have the stream play at the same time. But I have chat over there because I can kind of see chat here, but I can see it over there too. But yeah, I'm gonna get the lights painted, get the metallics refreshed, and this mech is basically done other than the basing, which will happen.
That's neat.
Yeah. So, for the, I kind of wonder if that one might be cool for the, I could do that or I could do orc skin. Orc skin might be too dark. Actually, maybe I'll just go in with an actual effects paint and not do the speed paint because I have this kind of green. I could go in Gauss green. Actually, let me see, what does, I need a reference image. I don't think it needs to be that bright unless it's like actually firing. No, I don't want to lose flex. I need to open up a new tab. Let's see, Marauder. It's kind of hard to get an image of like weapons on, like weapons forward kind of look. I think the darker green might be the better play. I could even do like, that might be too much. Let's see how the plasmatic bolt comes out. Let's do like a dab of each. I have a vortex mixer for this, but I had to unplug it to plug my phone in. I'm gonna do like a yellow for the headlights to really bring them out. Might be too much paint. Oh no, that'll be perfect. Yeah, just a suggestion of some color there. It's almost too bad that I used like even a drop of that because that's all I'm going to be using. I'm going to use some Zealot Yellow for the headlights. This is actually one of the really good speed paint colors. I like this one a lot. Hey, thanks for the follow. I'm sorry I didn't get your name. It flashed really quickly before I could see. picking it up. No, I don't want to play my stream. I want to play the music. Hello, hello. Hey, Drago. Thank you for the follow. I think that was you that followed. We're very professional here. As in, not at all. So most of this one is traditionally painted. That said, as I was telling chat earlier, I'm gonna print out a bunch of Urbies, and I'm going to do different painting methods. And one of the painting methods I want to do is like completely speed painted. And I have a whole line of the brand new speed paints coming next at the end of this month, actually. So I'm really looking forward to that. This might look more amber than, we'll see how that looks when it dries. Slap chop your minis, yeah. That's, I don't know if that's something I want to try, is slap chopping with BattleTech. Most of my stuff I do kind of a method of that, because like, for example, here's a, let's just call him a space ogre. He's ready to go for some slap chopping. Yeah, so I love zenithal highlighting in general, and I love my speed paints. I have a shitload of dwarves that I have to paint that I've printed. And we also have some of these guys. I'll show you real quick. Some orky boys that are gonna be, oops. It's hard to get everything in frame without knocking things over. These guys go in a car. The car's painted, the people aren't. He'll go in the back of, yeah, I 100% agree. That's why these are models from a company called Station Forge, for the most part. The Warhammer ones, well, not Warhammer, but Space Hammer. No, they're just, it's just a company called Station Forge. This is one of their vehicles for the orcs that they go on. The red ones do go faster, so this one is red, and they'll go in the back here. That's definitely gonna be it's gonna look more amber, but you know, it's a splash of color, so that's cool. So yeah, let's hit up some of the metallics. Yeah, Warhammer is just way too expensive to actually get into, but One Page Rules is basically Warhammer, and it's affordable. Actually, I might highlight, instead of steel, I might use aluminum for highlighting. But yeah, One Page Rules, very affordable. They also release their own minis if you subscribe to their Patreon, and they have some really, really, really cool minis. I really want to do like a Tomb King armor or army. Hey, you want me to wrap up?
Oh, no, I'm gonna cook.
Okay, I'm almost done. I just need to finish this highlighting.
Yeah, I'm just cooked because I have my meeting.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But you can keep talking. Yeah, I'm not anymore.
I'm gonna hit some highlighting up in here. That's a bit too much.
Do you need a beverage or are you good?
I could use something. What are you having? Toss up between BattleTech and HeroClix. I think BattleTech is a great choice because BattleTech's kind of having like a resurgence right now, especially with the latest Kickstarter. down a little bit. All right, let's see. I need to be really careful with this. There we go. I did too, yeah. How much are you in for? The downside is that we're gonna have to wait like almost a year.
Advertisement
Hey,
for the
thank
local
you.
brew. Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine. Oh, I was gonna advertise.
Oh, you're. I thought she was handing me something. Actually, I don't think I can show that on stream.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Because Twitch is really uptight
That's
about
right,
things
I forgot
now.
About that.
Yeah, I know. It
Good
stinks.
thing it didn't make it on the camera.
Good thing it didn't make it on the camera. It was grape juice, chat. That's what it was. Battalion level, yeah. I think Battalion, somebody did the math, and that's like the best one for value for your money.
Oh, is it okay if I open this?
I'm
getting the piano.
Yeah, it probably is okay. We'll
far,
see.
it seems okay.
We'll see if the camera falls. I know, it's really weird how I had to mount this.
Does that bar just stay there?
It stays there, yeah.
Yeah, alright, it's fine.
They added another, oh yeah, you added another map pack, some dice. I think, what did I pick up? We're kind of excited for some of the, like, the little goodies, like like I think the officer pack or something, get like a challenge coin, a patch, things like that.
Oh, for the Kickstarter?
For the Kickstarter, yeah.
Excited for that.
Yeah, what faction do you think you'll want?
I don't know.
She's been reading a lot of BattleTech lore lately.
Yeah.
I think I might get the Northwind Highlanders for me, because I think I'm gonna paint up some mechs in that style. Oh, did they actually add the Somerset Strikers? Did they give that to us? I was in a company, a game of Armored Combat as an add-on. Nice. Yeah, that's what we've got. That's our first box set, is a game of Armored Combat. We don't have the clan box. That's amazing, dude. I cannot. So I will actually paint the Somerset Strikers up like the cartoon. I grew up with that cartoon and it was awesome. Even though it was only like 14 episodes. I kind of love that they canonized it as like in-universe propaganda. Alpha Strike is really popular. Where are you from? Oh, cool. Where are you from? I'm thinking about, I definitely want to try Alpha Strike, but like the Alpha Strike box set, even if you don't play Alpha Strike, the Alpha Strike box set is an amazing deal. Singapore, awesome. Do a lot of people play Alpha Strike instead of like Warhammer there? Because it seems to have like similar kind of rules to me as far as like how you move and things. Exactly, 13 models. It's an amazing deal. And some really good models too. Like there's a Timberwolf in there. Some other stuff too. I'm gonna hit these up right here. Go in there. I'm really trying to brighten this metallic up a bit after the non-oil kind of dulled them down.
What beverage would you like? Do you want to dose?
Surprise me. Atlas. Oh yeah, there's an Atlas in there too, yeah. Warhammer. Yeah, all the greatest hits, right? dry this a little bit. See if I can get some highlights on this actuator. Thank you. The Warhawk. I'm trying to remember which one that is. Is that a clan mech? We could almost pivot this into a cooking stream.
Yeah, right?
That sizzle you're hearing is some very yummy curry. Just gonna hit some edge highlights on these. I'm a huge fan of metallic metals. I know like it's really popular for people to do non-metallic metals to show off how good they are at painting, but I just love the look of metallic metals. Yeah. They're just so shiny. Really need to get this in camera. Maybe let's hit some edges on these too. Because these are like exhausts or something, or they're probably for heat sinks or something. They do kind of look like thrusters. Yeah, that definitely using the aluminum on those edges really made that pop. I love it. So the metallics I use, most of them are done with steel, and then I went with aluminum. But I love the Vallejo metal color. It just goes on great, and it's just a great pigment that they use. In fact, you can't go wrong with Vallejo in general. Let me touch these up a little bit too. Oh, no, I'm glad there's not smell-o-vision because it smells so good. You all would be dying. I feel like I'm kind of done with this one, other than some basing. Actually, maybe I will actually edge highlight those with the, kind of dig in the aluminum for the edge highlighting on the steel. Just to make it pop a little bit. Model or game color. This is model, I believe. Well, no, it's not even that. This is just acrylic metal color from Vallejo. I don't have any of their mainline paints, but I do have their primer. Their airbrush primer is like the best primer I've ever used, and it really, it goes on so much smoother than rattle can primer, and you really don't lose any of your details that you don't want to lose. Okay, well, I feel like I might call this one done. Other than the basing, of course. And I think with that, yeah, we're at 2.5 hours. That's a pretty good stream.
Nice.
So
Yeah, it's time to eat.
it is time to eat. There's curry that's like right there just waiting for me. And I'm really hungry and it smells so awesome. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Watch me paint some giant mechs.
Catch her on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna do this again. This is fun. Definitely made it
Yeah, do it.
pretty fun, and we got a mech done, so that's awesome. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Thanks for the follow. See you around.
Bye.
Bye.